Happy lunch hour, gang. All right. It's funny. We all know, we see it slowly, that our rights are slowly eroding away, that the government is having a tendency to try to take them, and it's subtle. You know, some of them are more in your face. It's like, oh, we want to take away your right to own a weapon. But it's other ones that we don't see so much here in the U.S. yet. And that's because we haven't gone totally socialist. You start taking a look at things that are going on around the world. And as we've said many times, watch what happens in Europe. It's coming here. Remember a few years ago when basically the majority of the EU said it was illegal to own guns and knife crimes went through the roof, right? Bad guys are going to be bad guys. It doesn't matter. Well, let's use Germany, for example. Germany now has a proposed law for a knife buyback. Right, okay? That the German government has put forward a bill to trade people a year's Netflix subscription if you trade in a knife. I mean, what's next? Then it'll go to baseball bats or hammers or pick something. You know, eventually it's going to be, okay, sticks and stones. Bring in a stone and we'll give you a new Mercedes. I mean, this is what it's going to turn into be. You think that's bad? Well, we can take a look at England, okay? There were reports in England of the police showing up to people's houses to arrest them because they posted something negative on Facebook or on Twitter or wherever, that their free speech, granted they don't have our Constitution, but they aren't allowed to say something negative about the onslaught of illegal immigration that they have. They weren't allowed to say something that supported the British nationals and was against the heathens that are invading their country. They got arrested. We could go to Nigeria, where you had 7 Polish nationals arrested for flying a Russian flag. Okay? You know, that they couldn't even fly a flag. Try that around here. I mean, just go down to Texas and see how many Mexican flags you see. Drive anywhere around the country and see how many rainbow flags you see. You know, or anything. BLM flags in our schools, et cetera, right? Free speech, again, being taken down. We could go to New Zealand. This was on Friday. New Zealand passed a law that the police could arrest you and forcibly give you the arm ticket if you didn't do it voluntarily in the last couple of years. Can you imagine driving down the road and a cop pulls you over and says, "Do you know what you did wrong, sir?" You're like, "No. You didn't participate in our mandatory vaccine program. You're getting arrested, and we're taking you straight to the hospital and giving it to you without your consent." This is the crap that is coming. And people need to wake up and see this, that our freedoms are going to be taken away from us in the name of socialism. Now you take Tim Walz, you know, the new vice presidential candidate under Kamala Harris. You know, what some people call socialism, we call being neighborly. No, okay? Neighborly is not telling me that I can't fly my Trump flag. Neighborly is not telling me that I can't keep a knife in my pocket. Neighborly is not telling me that I can't post whatever the hell I want on social media. And neighborly certainly isn't telling me what I can and cannot do to my own body. Okay? Period. And before somebody comes up and says, well, abortion, blah, 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 they're telling you what to do with your body. I hate to correct your disillusionment here, but that's a different body inside you when you're pregnant. That ain't your body. That's somebody else's body. Okay. So yeah, before anybody, some liberal gets on here and says, see, you should agree with us. No, two different bodies. Okay. I don't have any control over what Mrs. P does with her body, right? I couldn't go do something to her. Nope. Okay. Just like a pregnant woman shouldn't be able to do something to a baby. Just saying. My opinion, my point, deal with it. Don't like it, little X. Real good answer. This is what's coming. This is what you need to be ready for, to prepare yourself mentally for when they tell you what you can and cannot do. This will lead to chaos, the W word, okay? People are not going to put up with this. I mean, we can pretty much accept the fact that Europe doesn't have a backbone. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I mean, they beg for the United States to defend them because they can't do it themselves. We're going to do it for ourselves. Again, this goes into everything I've told you about my beliefs in isolationism. Screw everybody else. You do what the hell you want to do. We're going to do it our way. The problem is we've got an infestation of liberalism, a disease for which there is only one cure. It needs to be eradicated, simply put, okay? I'm not talking about body bags. I'm talking about we need to convince these people of the errors of their ways. We need to show them that you want to have rights, because it's like anything else. Give them an inch and they're going to take a mile, right? And if you don't believe me in that one, let's go on to this. Remember 15 years ago where all we heard, we just want the right to get married, that's all. And eventually the people said, all right, fine, go ahead. We'll write it into law that same-sex couples can get married. And 15 years later, here we are with books in school teaching fourth graders how to perform oral sex, okay, on same-sex people. I mean, regardless of sex-wise, but no, we've got groomers all of a sudden now. We've got drag shows in schools. We've got parades running around streets where people have their junk hanging out. This is it. You give them an inch and they take a mile. We're seeing it all over the world. It's coming here. Do not think otherwise. If we get the cackling hen and the stolen valor idiot in the White House, we're done. You think you have a tough life now with Bidenomics destroying your finances, with crime running rampant in every corner of this country, with illegals pouring over the border like nobody's ever seen in their lives. You think it's bad now. Wait until they wind up taking over the White House. As a country, we're done. This is when we will wind up eventually like the Soviet Union did, or like China did, or like North Korea is, or like Cuba is, or like Venezuela is. All those great experiments in socialism that had such wonderful outcomes, right? Okay. You know, if you want to drive a 50, 70-year-old car that's held together with, tin cans, or if you want to eat zoo animals, if you want to go through, the Holodomor, and starve to death, if you want to be executed because you don't have a picture of the grand leader in your house, that's what it's coming to, guys. This is what we're up against. And I don't think the world, the country, realizes yet how bad it's going to be. But as soon as those two get in, it's over. All the comments of, if so-and-so gets elected, this will be the last election. Yeah, if Kamala Harris is wound up installed as president, you'll never see another free election in this country. We will be run by an oligarchy and a dictator. Pinball out.